Are we live yet? There we go.
There we are.
Hi everyone, RP Gamer here, and welcome to my RP Ramblings live, basically. And I'm joined by my friend Layth to discuss last night's All for the Frozen Pokemon session.
Hey guys, I'm Layth, or Darius Jonah, as the case may be. Good to meet y'all.
It's confusing me. I have the video in the background. It's
Oh dear!
me.
So you're getting a lovely little bit of echo, are you? Oh Christ, dude, stop it!
No, I've muted it. It's just
you're watching everything
behind.
Oh, you're watching everything 3 minutes in the past.
Being distracted by it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so last night Layth was in it, was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Played him a reap named Professor. What was he called? Professor Sheep.
Professor Sheep. His name was totally Professor Sheep, because I am not completely unimaginative. No, it was. Oh shit! No, you've got me doing it. I don't know. I can't remember his fucking name. It was Bismuth. Bismuth. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, Professor Bismuth.
Oh, damn it, man.
Easily done.
Yeah.
We also had Jarin D&D, who played Edge the Gibble, and Umbri, who played Professor Firefly, Ninetales. Yep. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically just my take on All for the Frozen King. And
yeah, it's got some good bits of interesting story to it. And I don't know if it really came up during the session that much, but I really liked that it was kind of supposed to be this kind of like Indiana Jones-ish type game. I really liked the idea that it was kind of, like there was a bit of technology to the situation, you know?
Yeah, I didn't actually intend for it to go like that.
Oh, so in that case, here's me chatting shit, man. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It did end up going like that, but
all right.
With you lot when you're exploring, but I think it actually went better. It went better than what I had planned.
Oh well, I think that more goes towards you and your ability to do things, because, like, especially for me, when you just didn't know, like, so much, like I didn't know so much of what was going on, and I didn't really know that well of the system. It was a very, very good introduction to all that, and yeah, it was really, really good. I was really happy with the session. I'm just glad that I didn't like catastrophically screw something up, you know.
Well, you screwed a lot up, but it kind of helped towards the session.
Oh, nice.
No, I'm mainly talking about the rope incident.
Yeah. I dig.
Yes, for anyone watching who hasn't actually seen the session, I mean, why are you watching this before the session?
Oh, maybe they'd be interested.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, Layth's character, Professor Bismuth, decided he was going to use a rope to climb down pretty much a snow-covered hill. And ended up failing his role anyway, and falling down the hill.
I still like like one thing which is just a bit surreal about the Pokemon role-playing game, especially when you're playing Pokemon, is that you are supposed to have these things that just don't sound like they should go together. So they're sort of sitting there going, "Oh yeah, by the way, you have to use a rope to climb down properly and stuff." But guess what, guys? Like, Mareep have no opposable thumbs. They can't hold the rope. And yet somehow I tied a fucking rope and I used it to climb down, and then I fell off the deck. But, I still used it. We had a Ninetales that was very, very nice. Albeit very, very fiery lady, that one. Yeah.
Yep.
She cooked all of our dinners.
So many cooked Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to bring that Beartic back into it.
No, if you want.
I don't know. I don't know where he wandered off to. Because as far as you're aware, that cave just led to the temple.
Well, I was kind of thinking that what was going to happen was that it kind of just wandered off doing its own business, and then as we went in, we would have found it dead somewhere, but we didn't. So this dude who's just like, oh, I'm just going to go home, and it's like, oh yeah, this dude lives in that temple over there, ancient temple untouched by man or Pokemon in millennia. Yeah. Just funny.
I think we should kind of talk about it in like sort of order of how it went about.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best idea, especially because you're going to have to do most of that. I don't know how to. I don't know how to recap properly.
So we started out where I just threw you straight in against 4 Beartic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was a really good chance on like everyone's part to kind of show what each of us could do and kind of get used to what was going on. So like I said, I hadn't played the game ever before properly, so I didn't really know how to be in a fighting encounter, and so you were able to kind of walk me through pretty easily.
So I'm gonna have to pause there for a minute. I just need to go do something.
Of course.
Oh, it's all right. So, all right. But so how did you find the combat anyway? Since you're completely new to it.
I found it pretty good, albeit it was kind of like, I guess you could say it's one note, just in the form of we were doing rolls and we were just doing the rolls. But mind you, that's kind of how that's how I fucking do games. I don't like kind of going, oh yeah, I use this attack and I just roll the dice and leave it be. You kind of saw I was totally like bullet timing it, and my wire brush sheep Pokemon was vibrating and all kinds of different things. Like I like to see that. From my personal point of view, I thought it was really good because you were able to kind of make everything really kind of work really nice. Like I lost quite a bit of health, and I am kind of the tank of the group. But yeah,
just hold that thought, Layth. I'll be back in a minute.
No problem. So guys, while he's gone, put on the chat something, and I'll answer it.
Sorry,
no problem. No problem.
Charlie can't traverse the stairs yet, so.
Oh. Charlie is the best. Stoutart. His name is it. He is the best Stoutart. Yep. So like the fight was really good. It was a good basic introduction to what was going on and what we would be doing. We didn't get to synergize too much, between all the party members, but I get the feeling that pretty much because we didn't know who each of us was going to be, we made everybody to be kind of self-sufficient. I know I did. Anyway, I kind of made a character who could stun, who could heal, who could do this, who could, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the downside of doing like one-shots, is that everyone they don't really do the session zero kind of I'm making this character while I'm doing this character kind of thing. Everyone just gets on and does their own character and then comes together with the character already made or pre-generated.
Fair enough. Yeah. Right.
Back again. Right. So what were you saying just then about?
We were talking about how in one shots we can there's more. It's more likely for you to be kind of self-sufficient rather than kind of team players. And while I do kind of agree with that, in the sense of that's sort of what happened, it doesn't really. I think it really depends on being able to communicate properly between the GM and the players and those kind of things. So if there is a theme, if part of the theme is you guys are supposed to be on your own, you're doing your own things, and then you meet up, that's a pretty good way of doing it, kind of having everyone be self-sufficient and stuff. But if you wanted to, it could have been if we could have done it differently. I think we should have done it the same. It's not like something horrendous happened as a result of no one knowing what was going on. It's not a big deal.
No, I should have set the group chat up earlier when everyone was still in the middle of creating.
Yeah.
You live and learn, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
So then, of course, you actually did something I wasn't expecting. I'm usually quite good at my brain going in every single direction. You could go from a situation that I put down. So if like with the combat, I write the combat down and then my brain goes in every possible direction that a player could go. That's kind of what I pride myself on as a GM. I mean,
all right, fair enough.
I try it, but I didn't actually consider you capturing one of them.
I really didn't think that it would have gone through because, I mean, yes, they were Pokemon, but I was fully expecting them to be kind of I guess you could say the kind of theoretical equivalent of wild animals. Pokemon that had gone kind of feral or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, it's not actually going to have that much of a big old effect on what's going on. But it turned out, that guy was one of the major parts of the campaign. So yeah, that was good.
Yeah, he turned around and said, "Well, I'm just trying to eat you." And then he just led you to the cave, which kickstarted the rest of the campaign. I mean, that part I had to change from my notes because in my notes I obviously was going on the assumption you either killed or a couple of them escaped. and then you just heard the voice and carried on in the direction. But no, yeah, went to the cave, and I thought, well, they don't need to know I didn't plan this, so I'll just have the voice come here. Just have the voice guide them here.
Well, you did a perfectly good job, man.
Oh, I'm glad. And then I got the voice to guide you, which you all decided you were going to do about. You were all going to roll to like find out its nature, the voice's nature, and all that.
Yeah, I think we wound up like, because we knew going into it was supposed to be kind of like an archaeological expedition. I'm pretty sure all of us pretty much just went, oh yeah, let's just roll a cult. Let's just get high occult, all of us. And yeah, fair enough.
Alright, well, just got to nip off again. A minute. Yeah.
The powers that be tell me that it is so. La di da di da 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 da. Dancing. I am wondering. Well, that's interesting stuff. Looking, for those of you who are wondering, I'm looking at some of the up and coming Games Workshop stuff going on. It's interesting, I suppose. If any of you are wondering why I'm grimacing so much, it's because I'm quite sleepy. I'm sleepy, Layth. Sleepy. Hey.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Right. So I keep throwing this back to you. What do you think? What did you?
Let's see if I can increase the speed of this thing. Got it for my birthday. Anyway.
Right. Sorry, the dogs were acting up.
No worries.
So I was saying, what did you think about the voice? That side of it, the directing.
I thought it was a good. Yeah, I thought it was a good starting point. You know, there was like it could have been a bunch of different things. It could have been like something that's trying to play with us, or something that's trying to have an effect on us, or something to that effect, to that kind of idea. But it clearly wasn't. It was something that was just drawing us to it, and I mean that's the thing that brings interest. It's the thing that is the hook of it all. My question would be, why is it trying to draw us in, and why is it important that we are drawn in? Maybe it's everybody's drawn into it, but you know, it's certainly something to look into, something to consider on the next session. That being for me,
definitely something I'll be bringing back up. Because I mean, the minute the voice, now that you're there, the voice has stopped. But it's definitely something I'll be bringing back up. Definitely something that'll be coming back into it. And so the next part was you followed the voice and you discovered the chasm, which at the base of it lay the temple. And that's when you decided you were going to use the rope.
I was going to take a tumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to be the most dangerous ball of tumbleweed ever made.
Yeah, you went tumbling down the hill. The Ninetales just followed you casually, using the rope, and the Gibble decided to use his dig to get to the base, which I wasn't expecting.
It's an interesting use of moves and abilities, you know, certainly.
And then so you took a tumble and you smashed into what you assumed was a block of ice.
Yeah.
At the time, and then quickly discovered a fellow expedition member frozen on the floor.
That was great. I enjoyed that little bit of, oh crap, what have we done? Yeah, because we may or may not have killed someone else by accident.
And then you actually decided to approach the temple following footprints were leading away from your dead colleagues. And the party discovered the temple was actually completely frozen. It was frozen by pristine, clear ice, quite well cut and shaped around the temple. And that's when all the guessing about what did it came up. I think you spent about 20 minutes guessing what did it.
Yeah, pretty much.
chat. I loved, to be honest. I loved that you were all sat there guessing, oh, it's this legendary. No, it's going to be this legendary, or it could be this, or this. Even right to the end of the session, you were guessing at what it was.
Yeah. Like, I really was kind of surprised by that, by the how much the argument of it all was of like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be this. I think that really brings in the intrigue, part of the intrigue of the game. You know, because people want to come across, want to. There's something of who's that Pokemon to it, because you know you want to be able to guess and then get it right from the clues of what the Pokemon is there. I think there's something to be done of like being a Pokemon hunter type campaign where you know you're like monster hunting Pokemon, and it's all about tracking them and finding them and preparing to deal with their crazy, you know, stuff going on.
Of course. And it was just awesome that you were just, that it kind of inspired you that you all to keep guessing. And just waiting for, actually waiting for Jarin to join the chat.
Oh, Jarin's coming. Oh, that's cool.
He should be entering soon. Just sent him the link, so. But no, so then you decide to just open the door, just go in and open the door.
Yarp.
Which was not something I was expecting. I was expecting us to go in. No, not to just open the door like that, blatantly at that.
Fair enough.
No, I was expecting you just well, either I was expecting you to either like creak the door open and have a look in, or just blow the door if it's
to be a bit
hinges.
more cautious with it.
Yeah, or blow the door if it's hinges.
That would have been fun.
But you just open the door as if you were just anywhere.
Yeah, well, we were very, I guess, we were quite fixated on it. We were kind of, I get the feeling that it was just kind of like we weren't perfectly, in the element of, you know, treating it as like a deep, dark place to be worried about. Because generally speaking, up till that point, we were very much sorting through our things, but we were doing all right, so to speak. You know, we weren't particularly knowledgeable of there being any particular danger of here. It could be that there was nobody there, or it could be there were loads of people there. We wouldn't know, you know?
Yeah. Just bringing him. I mean, I'm just trying to sort Jarin out.
Go on.
Was it stuck for you when you first clicked the link?
No.
Did it bring you straight in?
It took me to the main thing, but then there was this thing that said that you were in a voice chat. You know, you were inviting me to a voice log, to a phone call, and I just joined that.
Yeah. All right. Just. Right. No. Right. See if I can get him in. Right.
There we go.
There
Hey
we go.
guys,
Oh yes.
saw the post
You all right?
and you guys were talking about the session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just talking about the session.
Cool. Oh, well, chat away.
Yeah. So what did you think of the session,
It
Jarin?
was pretty good overall. The beginning was a little bit awkward. I think a lot of that, in my case, was not being super familiar with Pokemon in general. And kind of how the system worked. But once I started catching on, it was great.
Kind of the same boat as Layth then. Just getting
Yeah.
used to the system.
Yeah, I think it was kind of one of the things for all of us. And it didn't help that I really wasn't familiar with any more than just bare basics of Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think it takes a little while to kind of get used to it all. I was talking about that earlier, you know, about how I had nothing and you guys had to teach me, and you know, you did a really good job of kind of getting me up to speed with everything that we needed to get done and all the stuff to consider. So, you know, it was all right. I felt that it was all right anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying my Gibbo named Edge. I totally love how I'm playing him, kind of that smart ass tough guy. But he's really not as smart as people think, although he does think. So there were a couple points it's like, I'm traveling with two Pokemon that are supposed to be professors. Why didn't they think of this?
Oh, you know, what can I say?
But yeah, it was as simple as
So
and it's definitely a very nice twist on Oath of the Frozen King.
Yeah,
I know.
very much so.
I'm
I've
glad you think so.
Yeah, I've seen it played in many ways and reskin and everything, but just putting it in a whole nother universe or game system like Pokemon just adds a whole new twist to it.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a lot more epic next session. Because I mean, it's going to be going to hopefully be the epic conclusion to All for the Frozen King.
Yeah, I think next session will go a bit better as far as with the players, because we've kind of gotten our feet on the ground now and
yeah,
kind of learned how the mechanics work. So I think that will be quite a bit easier on us.
So I'm recapping the session right now, Jarin, and I'm up to where you entered the temple.
Oh wow!
And how I was expecting you to be a bit more cautious with it, how you entered the temple, rather than just opening the door and waltzing in.
Yeah.
Just
I personally believe that you are lying. You weren't expecting anything from us. You were expecting us to come across this door and immediately just kind of go, "Yeah, this is awful. This is fucking awful. This is disgusting," and we would have just left. That's what you were expecting us to do.
Hey, that edge opening the door was being cautious.
Yeah, he would have taken the explosion, and then me and the Ninetales would have just run away. I'm actually really sorry. What was the Ninetales' name? I can't quite remember.
Professor Firefly.
Professor Firefly. Myself and Professor Firefly, as is well known, are far better and more important than the Gribble, and the Gribble shall block all of our problems with his face. So says the ball of steel wire. Let's turn on the light here, because.
And then you saw the first thing you saw was the two glades.
Yes, and these two fools had the bright idea of trying to make my Gibble sneak past them.
It was a smart idea to come up with for the immediate precursor before we realized that we were asking a Gibble to sneak.
Especially one who put stealth as one of his pathetic skills.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
That did not go too well.
No, it's quite hilarious because I'll let you go with it for a little while. I'll let you go with your sneaking for a little while, going behind all the fallen columns and rubble, and then all of a sudden ice beam shot over your heads.
Yeah, I knew there was no way I was sneaking past them.
Well, to be honest, all three of yous, that rolled lower than their perception check, so
Yeah.
wasn't just the gimble.
But yeah, I have fun. I definitely enjoy the Pokemon twist on it. That was just, it kind of blew my mind at how good they fit together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it is a bit heavier on combat than I'm used to, but that's Pokemon for you.
Yeah. I may next session's probably going to include a lot more role play and like exploration than the combat. Obviously, there's going to be the massive combat with the Frozen King and such, but I almost gave away who the Frozen King was there, but
Oh no, it's Professor Bismuth. It's the Mareep. Totally.
Even if you did, the name probably would mean nothing to me.
no.
Well, it means something
No,
to you, dude. I just told you it's me. I am the Frozen King.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool. I get to kill a party member. And then I'll take his dead corpse, melt the ice, and dunk him in a lake of water, and use him as a scrub brush.
I just loved your reaction once you actually went down the stairwell and saw the. Because have you two both read through the Oath of the Frozen King?
I have, yeah.
I've skimmed through it, and then I've used some of the tables and stuff, so I kind of know it.
So you kind of have an idea of what's to expect from the standard game. So you kind of know what the room represents with the sword in.
Kinda. I remember reading in the location and that there's a room with a sword in it.
And so I just decided rather than making that an actual sword, I'll just stick the sword Pokemon in there.
Nice.
And you all turned up and saw that, and then completely rethought your idea about a legendary being in there.
Hey, Gibbo don't know what's in there. He just knows the Raiders been in there. And he's trying to score brownie points with Officer Jenny. Well, one of the things, the concept for him was kind of a bounty hunter that's wanting to get into law enforcement. So, who knows?
Those are the interesting bits that I never find out about in like one shots and stuff like that. That's like I hope it comes up in the next session bit that you've got this kind of thing, because it really puts, now thinking about it, it makes Edge into a much more, I guess you could say, dynamic character.
Yeah,
for being that kind of person.
Yeah, he's interesting, especially being a Gibble that's this tough guy. And law enforcement, you kind of want to detain the people, not straight out kill them. So there's kind of that dynamic going on, but with it being like a shop, it's like, okay, so raiders are going in there. Raiders are criminals. I can kind of play on the law enforcement thing by, yeah, let's go get these raiders. It's worked perfectly because both the professors wanted to check out the temple anyway.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't really. That's another thing that why I don't run one shots that often.
Yeah.
Or if I do, they always be extending their campaigns.
Yeah.
Because
I usually
I like to explore the characters.
Yeah,
I think if people
run shot as kind of a branch into a possible campaign that the players are interested.
Because I mean, you've all put work into your characters' backgrounds and that, and it just, I think it seems a shame to just have that character as part of a one shot where their backgrounds just don't come into play at all that much.
Yeah, definitely and I'm even at the point where I'm interested in seeing an actual campaign where you play as the trainer and not the Pokemon.
So you're interested in seeing like a normal game of Pokemon?
Yeah, just because this is being so much fun, I imagine playing as it was intended would be fun too.
Yeah. Actually, I might look into that, running this for the Frozen King again, because I mean, as you both see, there's loads of customization options for the campaign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can pretty much reskin it and set it in like a jungle real easily. And
the one that really struck me, like if I was ever going to reskin this, I was actually thinking of doing it like as a kind of aquatic place.
I actually did that using some of my monsters out of Legate's Tomb of Amazing Creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And it was excellent.
Okay, well, in that case, there you go. With the Jarin seal of approval, I'll get on that then.
It goes really nice for a totally aquatic underwater adventure. I've also seen it done in the desert, using basically a mummy lord for the Frozen King, and that was a pretty interesting thing. And the biggest drawback I noticed to the adventure kit itself is if you've played through it once or twice, you pretty much know what's coming up. Even though like the layout can be randomized and everything, you get so familiar with the individual pieces, you kind of know.
Yeah, but I suppose it's also all down to the skill of the GM at how they describe everything and how they reskin it.
Yeah,
reskinning it definitely helps, especially if you can come up with like your own descriptions instead of using like the description text that they give you.
Yeah, because I was speaking to Tim when I was thinking of doing this. I shot Tim a message to ask him what he thought of me taking this and turning it into Pokemon, and he was all for it, and I said what parts of it can I change, because obviously it's Oath of the Frozen King, so the oath's a big part of it, and the fact it's a old king and things like that, and he just came back to me everything. Just if you want to change the oath, then change your way. If you want to change who the king is, that's fine. Just go ahead. It doesn't have to be the Frozen King. Just
the jungle one I mentioned, it wasn't even a guy. It was a queen.
Yeah.
And we didn't know it until we got there. And like the desert one, it was a pharaoh who was this mummy lord. So there's a lot of different twists you can do on it with a bit of creativity, but it really takes some maneuvering if people are familiar with the adventure kit. And I thought you did a pretty good job with it in the first session, because I'm like, huh?
But
I mean, I figured out like the temple was the Frozen King's lair, but outside of that, it was like the whole session was, okay, this is Pokemon. This isn't Oath of the Frozen King thing anymore.
No, to be honest, I was trying to stick as close to the source as the example layout they have in there. I was trying to stick as close to that as possible, just with a Pokemon twist.
Yeah,
but I think I may venture away from it just to add a few extra surprises and that.
Yeah, I definitely encourage a few extra things that aren't in the just because some of us are kind of familiar with it.
Yeah. Mind you, the thing that I like about the Oath of the Frozen King specifically, is that it can kind of be faffed with, it can be mucked about with, and it can be so dynamic that even if you have some kind of familiarity with it, it's not like a be all and end all to it.
Oh no, definitely.
Almost on the level of like. Even if you knew every single choice or every single die roll or whatever, you could still roll out a completely different configuration. And the configuration is impossible to keep track of. So I certainly don't think that it. I think you're right in the sense of putting a twist, putting your own little way of it is brilliant. But
exactly, and even if you do know every option and exactly what's going on, it's still gonna be fun. And from a GM's point of view, I love the adventure kit because it's not only does it spark, okay, I can use this in my own game, put my own twist on it, but some of the things they did in there, like the sight, sounds, and sensations, I'm using in other things, such as my locations in the God's Tomb of Amazing Creatures. So I'm getting inspiration from little pieces that they did in the adventure kit and using it in other supplements and trying to incorporate just that idea and basically how I describe I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be using it in my actual Pokemon campaign, and and the other any other campaigns and that I'm running. I'll still be referring back to this, and I'm going to be talking about it more in an upcoming video after I've finished this one shot. But the next job after this one shot is combining two of Absolute Tabletop's fit products, this and Harbinger.
Okay.
That was next on the list. Next on the list that was popular. All for the Frozen King, Harbinger style.
Yep. I actually wanted to vote for all of them because I liked all the choices, but I was like, Oath of the Frozen King and Harbinger would be my biggest two.
I already have the plan. It'd be like a kind of massive spaceship would be the King's Tomb, and it'd just be all like anti-gravity and cryogenics and all that. And that's around cryogenics for instead of the frozen part, just cryogenic.
Nice.
But yeah, as I say, get this one out the way, and I can get to work on that one.
Yeah, I've done some interesting things, not with Oath of the Frozen King, but taking other ideas into basically D&D. Because that's what my players tend to want to play. For example, we had them in a room full of coffins in this gigantic crypt. And the idea was basically the alcoves of the Burg from Star Trek.
Oh, okay. So quite a good way of thinking it.
Yeah.
Swinging it.
And it just kind of, it fit in really well. It's just how I described what the bodies looked like in these coffins. And so it's really interesting because things you wouldn't think would work totally work if you describe them according to your setting.
No, definitely. I've took loads of things from stuff I've watched and read, and just like twisted it to meet my needs. I mean, almost everything I think of is some kind of twist on the stereotypical way of looking at it.
Oh, definitely. And I find it interesting because being a GM for 30 plus years now, it's been around since day one. You take plot lines and story ideas from other sources, but you can drop in characters, locations, and monsters, boss fight mechanics. It's I get a lot of those from like World of Warcraft in some of the raid bosses fights, how that works. I try to duplicate the same thing using the mechanics of the system.
Okay.
And it's amazing because, hey, it saves me time. If I'm watching a particular show at the time and there's something I really like, Okay, I got a session coming up this weekend. Let's use this. And we'll just twist it a little.
Well, there you go. But in all cases, I have to be getting off to bed, getting ready for work tomorrow.
That's fine. I'm going to call it in this in a minute anyway. So
okay. So on another thing, on another level, you can all. I can't remember what the hell I was saying. A door opened, like outside, not in my mind. Like someone opened the door, and I just forgot what I was saying.
about your channel, I imagine.
Well, I was going to say about my channel, yeah, but I think there was something left to talk about with the game itself, the session itself. And I think it was kind of to do with synergizing with things. You can certainly recognize that actually we're running the game a bit differently from usual. In this game, we are playing Pokemon, whereas in the role-playing game itself, you are supposed to play a team up of trainers and Pokemon. So you can play like different variations of that kind of stuff. And it is like, I mean, I don't know how the difference of it all plays out. Technically speaking, the trainer basically had, like, because you are in the original version, you have the trainer and the Pokemon. Basically, you're supposed to have 2 turns. But because we've joined them together, you've basically got 1. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, how that changes things, you know? But yeah.
There's a lot of factors that go into kind of that synergy of the session and how the people playing get along with each other and the DM, how knowledgeable everyone is with what they're doing and.
I personally think we're all. Sorry, Jarin. Go.
Oh, no problem. Just like if you ran this for, say, tab 4, it would be totally different. Just because they have that familiarity with each other that we're still learning as a group.
I think we all play well together.
I do too.
You three all seem to go well off each other.
It kind of helps that I know Umbry and I've had her as a player, so that kind of helped it along. And I got to poke fun at the sheep, so.
Everyone pokes fun at the sheep. but no, I really enjoyed the session.
Oh yeah, it was a total blast. And I knew I would have fun because I pretty much always have fun when I actually get to be a player, which is very seldom. But I had more fun than I expected. Considering I was pretty tired, not super familiar with the system or the basics of Pokemon, but it was just a blast.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully next session, everyone a bit more familiar will just be able to jump straight into it. And
yeah, I find that tends to happen in pretty much second or third sessions. Everyone's pretty much gotten things together. And
And especially, I think that the character sheet I've sent you all really does. I think it really does help.
I would have actually said I can't play the game if you were like, oh, you've got to do this by hand, because it straight up was like, oh yeah, done. I was like, okay, this is good. I like this.
It was so much better than my handwritten notes. And like, I didn't even have what the moves did out or the damage or anything. I just had like the name of the move.
But definitely, I'll have even the fact that it auto calculates everything, and it's got like, you just have to type the name of the move in, and it just brings everything up for you. Like auto calculates how much you need to add to your roll, and
exactly. So
what you're good with, and that. So it's just a lot better.
Yeah, it made it really convenient, especially for somebody who's totally new to the system. If I had have seen in that sheet when we made the character, it would have been so much easier.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't share it with you. I should have.
No,
I didn't think at the time.
Right, and it's not that the sheets that they had were bad. It just the layout of it so much easier, and the different tabs. It's nice.
Yeah. But the same way, I think that's made for a trainer, and you've got the separate sheets for the Pokemon.
Yeah, that was the only hard part, because we're playing as the Pokemon. It was like, okay, do we want to fill out the trainer part or the actual Pokemon sheet?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna actually have a look at those, at the spreadsheet one. See if I can edit it around so it's like all on one sheet. You've got the abilities and like the base abilities and all that as well on that.
Cool. But yeah, I thought the sheet it made it very convenient, and for me, and I'm sure the other players as well.
Yeah, certainly.
It definitely speeds it all up.
Yeah, and anything that can make it convenient for the players and the GM is a good thing.
Oh, most certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll call it here, guys. So, I mean, I've been RP Gamer, and these have been these guys. If you want to sign off. Layth,
yeah.
you want to go?
If you guys want to, you can find me on Twitter. Twitter / Layth Al-najjar or Darius Jonah, which is my present handle. Just to let you guys know, there is actually another Twitter account, which is at Darius Jonah. Please don't use that, as it is mine, but I lost the password many years ago, and then I convinced Twitter that I was not it. So now it officially sends its renewal thing to an email address that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like it's the deadest. It is the deadest account it could be on Twitter, and as a result, really don't talk to that guy. He's weird. If you're interested, tomorrow is going to be the next campaign diary for the campaign that I'm running right now. We finished the introduction and my thoughts behind it, and now we're actually going to get into some nice stuff that I feel will be a bit different and probably be a bit better made than the other stuff. So yes, that should be coming out tomorrow. And yeah, that's me.
And Jarin, is there anything you want to plug?
Sure, why not? As pretty much anyone who sees this will know, I'm Jarin D&D, founder of Power Up Gamers. You can find us on YouTube. We have a Facebook community, a group, and we are bracing ourselves for the release of Legat's Tomb of Amazing Creatures Volume 1. And it's 26. It's monsters for 5th edition and homebrewed skin monsters that have some pretty cool concepts that people seem to be enjoying. And that will be released is the 1st of June at the latest, and on Drive-Thru RPG for $15 shortly afterwards. It also includes a D800 adventure hook table, a location section with 12 unique locations that include a trap app, and a puzzle or riddle for each location. So some nice little tools for GMs that besides the monsters.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Certainly, yeah.
And I'm RP Gamer, and please subscribe and like this video. Definitely like this video, so I know I'm actually doing something right for a change. and I'll speak to everyone later. Bye.